should I throw towards it? It's better. Oh,
I can hear it, can't he?
I can hear Connie as well.
She was just lamenting the fact that Discord always seems to have 15 new updates whenever she clicks on it.
Yeah. I've been lucky, actually. This Discord has not sent me any such notifications for the first time in quite a while. You're totally up to date. When it told me that, I actually didn't believe it.
Yeah, I think mine just automatically boots up when I turn my PC on, which is, not great for speed, but it does mean that I very rarely get held back by surprise updates.
Surprise! Hello!
Hello.
I guess you may have heard Discord.
Yes.
Discord.
Join us in our Discord lamentation.
Oh.
No? Okay, just me then. Oh, whoa, the Discord. No, okay. In order to save some memory, actually, I use Discord through something else. I don't know if anybody's heard about it before, but for the purposes of those who are also listening in at this particular point in time, I will note that I use something called Web Catalog to fire up Discord in, which is almost like using it over browser, so it takes a lot less memory. It does mean that I don't necessarily get some of the bells and whistles that you guys do, who use it as an app rather than as if it was through a browser, but in the interests of lowering the amount of memory it uses, it does appear to me to be very helpful. So there we go, little tech suggestion there for folks. If Discord is taking up too much of your PC's memory, consider using it through something like Web Catalog so that it lowers the memory footprint down a bit. There we are. Thank you. I'm here for the next 3 hours.
What was that?
That's Dave.
Oh.
Not?
That sounded less like a quack and more
Nice.
like something else, but I'm not going to say what it was, just in the interests of, keeping it clean for the time being.
I'm sorry.
Liar. You are in no way sorry.
I have an addiction to that soundboard, so I'm going to stay away from it now.
No worries. So do I.
Sorry. Just for the sake of things, what is that soundboard?
It's the Discord soundboard. You get it on Nitro.
But there's also a basic one. So if you look underneath the list of folks,
Sorry, I have other ones from other.
that's fine. Let's show off the power of this. We are not sponsored by Discord, sadly, but were you to use Discord, you too could use a soundboard like this. So there you go. Right.
Beautiful.
Indeed. Is everybody who wants to be signed in to... Well, I say wants to be. I hope you are. I hope you do want to be signed into Foundry.
Redacted.
Nope. Can I redact that statement? If you want to be signed into Redacted, make sure you are logged in. Here comes our second officer.
I like that.
What have I missed?
Apparently I was redacted.
You have missed nothing.
No, you really haven't.
Okay, alright, I need to stop now. I really need to stop.
Yep. Okay. Get your hand off the button.
It's off the mouse, I'm just sitting here now.
Yep.
Alright, last one.
Oh, my cabbages!
Nice.
Okay, yeah, that was necessary. Okie dokie, everybody who wants to sign in to Sirenscape and hearing something.
Yep.
Yep.
Fantastic. Right then, in which case, I will turn off the ship rumble, I will move us away from the intro music, and I will quickly turn us over to the intro video. So we will see you in a couple of moments, folks. Don't go away. Hello folks, and welcome along to the further adventures of the USS Combs. I am MJ the GM, and I will be your games master for the next 3 hours. With me are the crew of the Combs, including a somewhat late arrival from our second officer who arrived just in the nick of time. Well done, Mark. So yes, hello everybody. Now before we get into a summary of what happened last time on Star Trek Combs, we have a couple of small plugs to do, and let's start with Mr. Bell this time. I believe you are playing a Dark Elf?
Yes. Hang on, I just need to find the...
I've got the link.
Oh, yeah, you got the link, yep. I am playing a Dark Elf going against a rather witty psycho killer in a new audio drama. Trying to find what it actually is called.
Plotting with a Necromancer.
That was it. Thank you. Yep. Again, I'm getting quite a few of these now, and it's really starting to pick up. So, yeah, it's
It seems your ability to curse effing blind is paying off.
Yes, indeed.
Not to belittle your acting chops whatsoever.
There are times where I am doing purely acting chops and not swearing my head off. But I think this is actually one of the. I think this is one of those times where I'm actually not the one swearing like a trooper this time. Somebody else is, but I'm.
Okie dokie. And Mr. Powell.
Hello.
Anything new to report?
Same as always for me at the moment. I'm still working on the Yakuza 0 video. That's literally going to be feature length at this point, I think, with how I'm planning it.
Nice.
So it's a little way down the pipeline, but my channel's still there. I still have a lot of fun, nostalgic game reviews on there. Feel free to check those out at your leisure. But yes, so Yakuza is coming soon. TM. Thank you for bearing with me.
No problem. Like Dave and I were discussing earlier about computer games, we'd much rather them come out later and be complete than be brought out too early and incomplete, and therefore not as good an experience overall. So yes, the message here is definitely take your time. We'd rather have quality rather than quick. I should patent that. Quality, not quick. But then the AAA studios would sue me, and they'd become a big mess, and then, we would have to exterminate them, and then genocide happens, and you know how everybody feels about... Sorry, wrong meeting.
Then again, there's a certain first-person shooter which took 12 years to do, and it still turned out.
Yes, there's always an exception to the rule, and it's usually Duke Nukem.
Yep.
So, any hoops? The only thing I've really got to report for you guys that's interesting is that finally, after teasing me relentlessly for the last I don't know how long, the campaign module book for Star Trek Adventures for the Federation Klingon conflict has finally come out. It's been coming soon a long time, so I say a long time, it's just I'm impatient and I wanted it. But it's based on the Klingon Federation war that happened, that we saw instigated in the first couple of episodes of Star Trek Discovery, actually. But they assure us that the rules and the various rollable tables and stuff that they put in the book can be used for pretty much any large-scale conflict that happens within the Star Trek universe. So, yes, I am looking forward to getting stuck into that. I'm already having a good old look over it. When we will get to use it for this game will more than likely be the Dominion War, which is a little ways off for us here on the Combs yet, but it's definitely on the horizon. So, patience. We'll get there eventually. Until then, we will continue with our regularly scheduled program. Not to mention the fact that version 2, or 2nd edition of Star Trek Adventures, is supposed to be coming out at some point in the future. Not sure when yet, but rubbing my hands with glee at that. So, anybody got any other announcements or things they want to make mention of before we continue?
Nothing on my end, no.
Right.
Apart from, please listen to Solarity. That's it.
Still plugging it.
Oh.
We got our thingies, didn't we?
That sounds like a very personal thing to announce
A
on the internet, but I'm
milestone.
guessing you mean momentum and acclaim.
A milestone.
Watch out, he's getting his redacted out.
Very good. That's what they
But
call
let
a
me say
callback
that
in
again.
business. Yes,
alright,
indeed.
Can I say that again?
We
You
did.
got the button there.
We
Watch out,
can
he's
do
getting
it.
his. Okay, watch out, he's getting his.
Nope.
Where,
This is like the opening lines of "I'm the real Slim
Well-
Shady."
Yeah. Okay, ready?
With a real Chris Bell, please stand up.
Yeah. Watch out, he's getting his.
Nope, it's not going to work for you, I'm afraid. The timing's off.
Oh well.
But yes, to answer the question that was raised up by a bunch of orangutans going, ooh, ooh. The orangutan of enthusiasm was activated, and we do indeed have acclaim and milestones to use if you now wish to use them. Mostly acclaim, I would imagine. So, as per usual, in folks' character notes, I do believe I was already sent a request by somebody, which would be Mark, if I recall.
That was me, in case it was later than now. Yeah, I wanted to spend 5 acclaim to bump my reputation.
Dude, we shall do that. Considering the shenanigans you group get up to, you guys have got remarkably good reputations. Give me a sec, we'll get to that. Let's go Phlesc first. Yep, reputation 4. Whoops, we lost somebody.
Oh, we lost someone.
Oh, not me. I hope.
Nope. I'm still up
David.
over.
Our engineers have technical difficulties.
Ah, the Connie monster disappeared.
Did
Yes, there we are. Not you then. Who did we lose?
Dave.
Diav. Oh, of course. He did
Have
warn
I?
that he might, so we'll see how he manages to come back, if at all. He's technically still signed in, but I can't see anything move. Anyway, we will get to him when we get to him. In the meantime, we have upped Phlesk's reputation. Where is his reputation? His reputation is now 5, so groovy. Maximum reputation it can be presently. Anybody else? Legion of Honor for 4 acclaims. Are you buying another Legion of Honor, Liz?
It's my first one.
Your first one. Okay.
I was the
cool.
only one that didn't have it.
And now you've
Can you buy
rectified that mistake.
multiple?
Yes, absolutely you can. One of the guys on the
Oh.
Navis has got, I think, 3, maybe 4.
Oh.
So yes, you can absolutely get the Legion of Honor more than once if you really, really want to. I'm fine with that because as long as you're spending the acclaim to do so. Makes sense.
Okay. First of all, then I'll go next regardless. I want to use my major milestone to increase my science to a maximum of 5.
Okay, using a major milestone. Noted. Alright, so we are increasing something to 5, which was science, was it?
Yep.
Excellent, go ahead and do it. Open up your character sheet, change the 4 to a 5.
Excellent.
You have
Okay.
maxed out science.
Okay. Lovely. And there was something I wanted.
Wouldn't happen to be a golden ring that makes people talk about themselves in the third person.
Maybe.
Excuse me, sorry.
Okay.
Keeps happening there.
I think for now, can I have the award the Legion of Honor to, say, Captain Sobek?
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting. Yes, absolutely you can.
Oh, then that is what I shall do.
Awarding it to the captain, so the captain can use it. Okay, 4 acclaim for that. No problemo whatsoever. Interesting.
And that's it for me.
Excellent. Anybody else got anything else they want to do with their acclaim and or milestones?
Sorry, you go first.
No, go first. Honestly.
Oh, thank you. I think in that case, since I've got one of the major milestones, maybe I'll buff my command from 2 to 3. I've got this whole thing, like my backstory is about, like, required to take command.
Yeah.
And as the ship's doctor, they do have to do that every so often if the captain is compromised. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll buff my command from 2 to 3.
Okay, I have noted the use of the expenditure of your major milestone, so go ahead and change command from 2 to 3.
Thank you.
Nice. It makes sense too, because command is also an expression of how you are able to use your personality, your natural charisma to, talk to folks, either to get them to do what you want, or to intimidate them, or to talk them round. Either way, So it makes sense for Dr. Zott to have a higher command. All right then, Diav, were you about to suggest one yourself?
First of all, technical difficulties.
Yes, as such.
And I can't see exactly what I've got.
So you've got 5 acclaim currently, and you have also managed to procure a major milestone. So
I wanted to get a. Is it all right if somebody shares their screen, please?
sure, if somebody can volunteer to share their screen so that Dave can see. Whoever wants to, whoever feels that their connection's good enough to share. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
Should be able to see each other's character sheets.
Okay. Would you mind going over to the what is it? The suitcase.
The image items. Yes, you're looking for awards,
Yes.
are you?
Character. Is it character talent? Yeah, it's
You're
talent.
looking to get a talent.
Yeah, character talents. Command talents, please.
Ooh. Now I'm really interested.
I'm looking for something to help with my team, actually.
In
And
what
I'm
regard?
not too sure. I don't know, either helping with re-rolling or helping with.
Well, off the top of my head, under career talents, there is the talent of Chief Engineer. And what that does is that while you're aboard ship, you do gain the advantage Engineering Department, representing your entire ship's complement of engineers and technicians, and therefore, by having an advantage, stuff related to ship engineering is probably easier to do as a result of being Chief Engineer and having that advantage. And of course, you want something a little bit more. I mean, there's a little more power, which allows you to. You can spend a momentum to regain a spent power whenever you succeed at any engineering task aboard your ship.
Is that in the engineering stuff?
That's in the engineering talents.
As I said, something in. I was going to say something in command. I definitely want to take something in command.
Your command isn't high enough for some of them. So
I'm happy. I'm happy using minor. Is it minor or the middle
minor
one?
I think it's more like a medium one. We'll swap out one you've already used for another.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I want to change con from 2 to 1, and command from 3 to 4.
Yep, that's fine. So that's using a discipline, swapping disciplines around. So that's going to be a medium milestone. All right, I will note that. Tavish is using one of the medium milestones. Okay. Liz, if you could be so kind as to make his changes, please. Oh, you already have. Excellent. Thank you. Since your character's not currently on a ship, you could always have a look at the command talents independently when we come back to it.
Can you go back onto decisive leadership?
Decisive leadership. In a conflict, whenever you perform the assist task and would then pay 2 momentum to keep the initiative, the cost to keep the initiative is reduced to 0.
I mean, that's going to help, isn't it?
That can help indeed, yes.
Coordinated efforts.
During an extended task, you can gain the scrutinize or progression benefits when you roll a challenge dice. Scrutinize will lower the resistance, or the difficulty, I believe, and progression will mean that for every effect you generate, it will do an extra bit of work along the work track.
That'd be good for your science project.
Science projects, I mean, the scientific method we use for your science projects don't exactly use the same rules as extended tasks. I've tried to...
Oh, okay.
I've tried to slimline them.
Plan of action. Liz was just on it.
When an ally succeeded a task that was made possible or had reduced difficulty because of an advantage, if that advantage represented a plan or a strategy, they generate 2 bonus momentum, which cannot be saved into the group pool.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of those kind of talents where you can generate extra momentum, but you don't get to keep it. They have to apply to the thing that you've just accomplished.
Sorry, just in that, how do we use the momentum if we can't bank it, if we've already succeeded the task?
Basically, any task, like, for instance, say with an extended task, you could use those extra momentum to buy 2 more points of progression along the work track. Or in combat, if it was one of those things, rather than banking those 2 momentum, you would use them like maybe to add extra damage to the damage dice. So it will usually be to do with applying that extra momentum to the effect of you're trying to achieve, and therefore boosting it.
Can you have a look at Supervisor?
Supervisor is to do with the ship, and it gives you 1 extra supporting character, basically. Captain Sobek already has it, and therefore has already increased the ship's complement of supporting characters by 1. That being said, I like the fact that supporting characters kind of come and go and start growing organically on board of your ship. They will pop in and they will just appear, and sometimes they'll get used, sometimes they'll disappear for ages, sometimes they'll come back. Being, I remember Ensign Davis from engineering, haven't seen him in ages. And I don't always hold to the rule of restricting the exact number of supporting characters to what's said. That's on the number on the ship. So I wouldn't worry too much about that kind of thing.
Press that one, yeah.
That one. Tell me you actually pointed at the
screen. Let's yeah, sorry, Lysadori pressed on it. Yeah, we'll go for that one. We'll take Advisor.
Advisor. Whenever you assist someone else using command, they may re-roll one of their d20s. Okay? You are purchasing that with your major milestone, I take it?
I am, yes.
Alright, I will note the expenditure. You've gained yourself a command talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. So, Liz, if you're already there, you can drag Advisor over onto Tavish's list of talents, and I'll add it. Unless you... Oh, yeah, you're already there. Nice.
And I'm going to be... I'm going to take another Legion of Honor as well. Actually, no. Actually, I'm going to give my Legion of Honor to... I'm going to give my Legion of Honor to our Councillor.
In that case, let me go find the Councillor. Councillor Sachs gets awarded the Legion of Honor, and she's like, "Oh, I'm honoured, if a little confused. What have I done? Commendation for personnel who act in a way that exemplifies the best qualities of Starfleet." Nice.
No, I think we were awarded it. It's actually going to be more helpful.
Yeah. You're not telling her that.
Yeah, we are. That's what Tavish is doing.
This is so you do better. Oh, okay. Fine. Thank you, I think. So that's Tavish using blame to buy a supporting character an award so that they can do better. I like. Here's an award for not being quite as good as you should be. Have a medal for being almost as good as the rest of us. Okay. Nice. Anybody else with anything else they want to accomplish? I think that's nearly everybody except for Chris Bell. Yes, You haven't spent anything yet.
Yeah. Looking at my notes, I've got 7 minors, 2 mediums, and 1 major.
How many have you spent? None of them.
None of them. So I think I'm gonna up my. I'm gonna say up engineering.
Ah, okay. Interesting. Look out, Tavish is after your job.
Yeah, but actually, with that over, I'm not really much of a command and con type, so. But yeah, engineering and medicine would be good in a support way. Yeah.
So, a major milestone will allow you to add 1 to anything, and it's a permanent boost, but you can't up it to more than 5 in disciplines or 12 in attributes. So, final word, what would you like to change?
Actually, then again, I've got combat medic, so I'm gonna up medicine.
Alright. Spend your major to up medicine. Okay, change your medicine from 3 to 4. Look out, Dr. Sott, he's after your job instead.
There we go. I think that's...
Yeah.
Okay.
Your reputation's already 5, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You'd always spend 4 acclaim and buy yourself an extra Legion of Honor to use.
I will do just that. Because I've already... right, where
Already
am I?
used it, yes.
Right, Legion of Honor. So I'll just drag
Basically
that
just
onto
put ×2 next to the one that's already there.
my... Okay.
Right. Everybody else good?
Yarp.
I believe that's... Yeah. There we go.
Excellent. Alright. So, if we cast our minds back to last week... Excuse me while I rub my nose. Bleh. If we cast our minds back to last week, the the captain had taken everybody on a nice, relaxing planetary survey mission in order to chill and unwind. And needless to say, because we're making an episode out of it, it didn't go quite so peacefully. And you found yourselves driven into an underground chamber by a bunch of armoured slugs, native to the planet you were investigating, and this chamber appeared to have a 5-sided monolith in it, not too dissimilar from the ones you've encountered before, and sure enough, this one activated, and when it did, you were seemingly transported across the Milky Way galaxy to some kind of space station, which appears to have been set up quite some millennia ago. The inhabitants of the space station are a people who call themselves the Covenant, and they were apparently put there on this station as custodians by another race, who they refer to as their gods, for a purpose that has long since been forgotten. They appear to be split into 3 kind of castes. There's like a priest or administrator class. There's also like a security kind of soldier, I suppose, class, and there's also the technician, or at least the maintenance class. But the exact knowledge of the technology that they are maintaining seems to have been lost somewhat, and the station is basically coming apart due to neglect and due to the fact that they've lost the knowledge of the technology that they were sent here to apparently to maintain. It's been replaced with a lot of ritual and such. So, you guys being transported to this place have been assumed by the Covenant to be messengers of the gods. And no matter how many times you tried refuting it, or at least skirting around the issue, they apparently were having none of it. They threw a big old feast in your honor, and you were able to learn a couple of things, including the caste system and the fact that they do remember their former planet as being some kind of like oceanic paradise, and they've held on to this notion that if they do a good enough job, then when the gods or the messengers of the gods come to them on the station and see what a good job they've done, they'll be rewarded by being sent back to their home planet. But the other piece of information that you also discovered was that there's another faction on the station called the Apostate, and the Apostate apparently live in the bowels of the station, and there's been no contact between the Covenant and the Apostate, apparently because the Apostate are all hudged feral creatures who attack on sight, and therefore the Covenant themselves don't actually go down into the lower levels of the station. But the lower levels of the station is where you have to go if you are indeed going to try and fix the power source of this station, which is the only means you've got of currently getting back to the planet you were last on before you got transported across the galaxy. You were briefly put into a kind of captivity by the Covenant, who are demanding that as messengers of the gods you finally tell them whether or not they've done a good enough job to be sent home. But thankfully you made friends with one of the maintenance class folks who goes by the name of, I want to say Gavrik, but I can't quite remember the name. Balak, pardon me. Functionary Balak was a bit more skeptical about you guys being messengers of the gods, and therefore was more willing to help you get out of the situation that you were put in by the leader, High Curate Meharon. So he told you that inside of the place you were incarcerated in should be a hidden maintenance shaft access. And so he provided a distraction for you while you guys fled basically into the filthy, grimy tunnels so that you could make your own way down into the lower parts of the station and see what you couldn't find. And that's where we find ourselves. So before we go plunging into the neglected sub-levels of the station, is there anything I have neglected to mention, or anything I haven't said that folks need to be reminded of, or a question that folks have? Nope. Nope. Was there a suggestion? No. Alrighty. So, as it does bear noting, it's not just the primary characters, but we've also got Lieutenant Turin, the xenoarchaeologist, and also the captain himself along for the ride. Captain Sobek has been brought along on this little escapade with you, so let's bring you down into the lower barrels of the station as we change the ambience a little bit. So the lower parts of the station are pretty much what you expected. This place has not seen much maintenance for a long old time. And as such, these access tunnels and whatnot are pretty filthy. You've been roaming along down here for the last hour, you think? And you've passed tunnels that are partly flooded, so you've got wet as well as dirty. You've passed parts of the station that are entirely caved in. You've got more than a few bits where the superstructure looks like it's weakening in places, so overall, the further down you go, the more evidence there is of the neglect of the station. And so, we find ourselves in a fairly wide open corridor now. You don't have to actually go single file on your hands and knees down these filthy tunnels for the moment, which is in its own way a relief. But following the tricorder signals, you are able to make your best guess as to which ways to go in order to keep going down and find the power source you're after. At the moment, the tunnel you're in seems to indicate that the best way to find the power source is to keep going the way you're facing. And so, it's whoever wants to lead the way can lead the way. But before you do, I will ask for folks to give me either a reason and science or an insight and security test. All of you independently. So you're each rolling 2 dice. Any focuses that have to be doing with awareness of your surroundings or that kind of thing, or recognizing structural related problems will do.
What about the probability of,
Yes,
lack
I'll
of-
allow that.
Well,
hello!
Great.
Legion of Honor. Thank you.
I've got triage.
Off for a strong start.
Oh my god!
Legion of Honor!
Start as we mean to go on. Good lord.
Can I use survival on this one?
Yep, that makes sense.
I've got metallurgy, manufacturing, or triage. Can I use that as a focus?
Metallurgy and manufacturing would make more sense to me.
Cool. Ooh!
Nice.
Oh, right.
Phlesc is hyper aware. So let's see, what have we got? Okay. Alright then. So, let's see. According to those rolls. So, Hopkins, never afraid to take the lead. Dr. Sott has got his nose in his tricorder, moving along, trying to have a scan for native life forms. You occasionally get the odd flicker here and there of small life forms, which suggests, if I can just get you to hold fire there for a sec, which suggests maybe rodents or other smaller life forms that live in the station's bowels and stuff. Basically, I suppose you could call them vermin in their own way. Gurkow, in a similar fashion, is taking readings of the area, trying to use probability to determine the likelihood that you're going to face something like a power pylon falling on you, or an electrical discharge, or something like that. Tavish, the captain, and Lieutenant Serena just trailing on behind everybody else. Garrow, of course, is also keeping his eyes open at the back as well to make sure that something doesn't come behind you guys. Tavish is looking for the power source, and you can basically follow some of the power conduits that are running behind the walls that you're going through. It's as you are proceeding down this particular corridor that there is the horrible sound of groaning metal, and Phlesc and Garrow and Tavish recognize a part of the ceiling by here is about to give way. So, just to be clear, Hopkins and Sott and Gurkow are all caught by surprise by this, whereas Phlesc especially, and Gurkow and Tavish notice this weakness before the other three do. So, Phlesc and Tavish and Garrow get to take an action, a very, very quick one, in order to maybe save one of their fellow crewmates before something falls on them. You can only save one.
I'm going to.
Sorry, go for it.
I was going to push our number 2 out of the way.
Okie dokie. In that case, I will require a fitness, and we'll go with science for you, I think. Since you are using your... Look out for that stanchion! So,
could somebody do that for me, please?
Yeah, Liz, if you could please be Tavish for us for a moment.
Fitness and science.
Please.
I have no focuses
not
in
really.
that.
One success. Okay, so Tavish grabs Hopkins. Garrow can make one action to grab somebody. May as well be Gurkow. So I'm going to ask you to give me a fitness and security check.
Fitness, security. Okay. Can I use survival or?
It's what you used to spot it, so I'll go with yes.
Yep. 1 dice or 2.
2.
Okay. Rolling. And
Right, 1 success as well. And lastly, but not leastly, Commander Phlesc, a similar thing. What did you use? Science, so fitness and science to test your reflexes.
Science.
You can use the metallurgy
Oh, I can? Okay.
focus because it was the one that alerted you to the problem in the first place. Let's see how you do. Not bad at all. Okay. So the good news is everybody who decided to act grabs their respective fellow, just as the whole thing gives way and a bunch of iron stanchions and even some of the stonework comes way to collapse. That would have squished the 3 who just went past it, but luck. Unfortunately, you didn't get 2 successes, so what we're going to do is we're going to half what we got, which is not going to be 15, don't worry. 1, 2, so Hopkins and Gurkow and Sot all come away from this with just 1 stress, the stress of having nearly been crushed. So it was like a, oh, blimey, you know, the whole shock of nearly being crushed by a falling piece of architecture. It's tremendous as the thing hits. Everybody basically dusts themselves down. It's going to take a little bit of navigating to get past this obstruction, but it's nothing that's too much that it's not impassable. You can just have to walk over it very carefully. But that was, as they say, a close one. And does underline what's the word I'm looking for? Which, again, T-shirt. I'm gonna have to buy that on a T-shirt. Let's go with how precarious the situation now looks. So, the way onward is still the way ahead, but definitely caution is called for.
Liz, you're doing a great job, by the way, Liz. Thank you.
Occasionally, as you keep going on, down both corridors made of metal and some of stone, you call through access tunnels where you sometimes get steam and gases venting at random intervals. You occasionally have to cross bridges that overlook some rather deep chasms down into the pits of the station, and climbing up or down ladders that don't look that anybody's used them in quite some time. Of particular note, though, is that most areas are lit with a kind of dim blue light, which is coming from a lot of the stone and wall structures that have those very similar, very familiar, I should say, markings that you've come across before. Like the ones you've seen on planets like Bacchus 4 and the like. Strange sounds emanate from the depths of chasms and down dark side tunnels, as the sigils and glyphs just seem to mark your passing without comment. The deeper you go, however, the wilder the terrain starts to become. Some of the tunnels are just stone carved directly from the asteroid. The walls and floors of some of these areas are covered in glowing fungi, and you get glimpses of small rodent-like creatures and insects scurrying away from your presence as you venture deeper down. So, to get an idea of where you're going, let's get folks who want to give me a reason and engineering or a reason and science task to see if you can keep telling which way to go, according to the scans that the power source is giving off.
Reason and science, and
so it's going to be reason and engineering or reason and science, difficulty 1. Any focuses to do with power systems or the like?
Reason and engineering, Liz.
The quad focus.
Could I argue shipboard tactical systems? Hello?
No, but you could argue engines.
No. Okay.
What is going on?
Whoa! Foundry hates you today.
I know.
Walking down corridors is hard.
I was gonna.
Oh yeah, we're crawling, aren't we?
Okay, so Phlesc definitely has a very good idea of which way to go. Most are just using their tricorders, and with an unfortunate miscalculation of probabilities by Gurkow, folks start heading down a corridor, but then Phlesc helpfully marks out that you're all going the wrong way, and that even though those power conduits do seem to lead in that direction, the metallurgical analysis would suggest that the most logical place for the next descent down would be this way, as he points to another corridor. So we might want to go this way instead. The way that you guys were going was more than likely going to lead into another dirty, grimy, narrow tunnel.
Unclean.
And the way that Phlesc is pointing seems to make more sense because it'll be one that was actually built for folks to use to navigate to the direction you want to go. So maybe we should follow Phlesc. You do occasionally have to pull, physically, Lieutenant Turin along, because she does very frequently stop to take detailed tricorder scans of the glyphs and all the other bits of ancient technology along the walls and whatnot. And she's just forever going, fascinating, amazing, intriguing. And even when you do call out her name, she's still just there scanning, scanning, scanning. And even when you do pull her away, she's still got her nose in her tricorder, so... Nevertheless. A bit further down, and thanks to Phlesc's knowledge, you do find yourselves in another area. According to scans, there's an access ladder not far from your current position. There are a number of different corridors to take, but it looks like they might just converge in the place you want to go. So, stay together or split up, it's entirely up to you, but you definitely have come across a place that, even though it looks like it hasn't seen anybody come down this way in some time, this at least is a little bit wider and not so cramped. You should have full control of your tokens. Can I get Garrow and Hopkins to both give me insight and security? Hopkins is going to be without a focus, but Garrow is going to be using his survival focus.
Okay, 2 dice.
2 dice. 2 successes, nice, okay. No successes, okay. Hopkins catches the whiff of something in the air, and Garrow stands in something that goes squish. As Garrow looks down on his boot to see what he stepped in, it looks like a pile of poo.
Oh, nice.
At which point, yes. Phlesc is keeping a distance. Garrow is there going, "Ah, my shoes." But Hopkins, looking around, using those Klingon sensitive nasal receptors, gets the smell of not only animal droppings, but also the smell of actually warm-blooded animals nearby. And with the dispersal pattern of the droppings, you've probably wandered into an area that's inhabited by some kind of creature or creatures. Due to the sheer amount of poop that's around, you would guess that this is probably a very habited inhabited area.
Has anyone got any doggy bags?
Bags of doggies.
We might need more than just one.
I'm sorry. They're in my other uniform.
Yeah, I'm going to need a fresh pair of boots after this one.
Do we still have the EVA suits? Oh, no.
No, you don't.
Yes.
Do I?
No, you don't, because if you remember, the captain stated you're to get some fresh air for a change down on that lovely, lovely planet that you were surveying. It's just a shame about what happened. Yes.
Phase away the poo.
Phaser away the poo. Okay. Which is easily done. You know, you can just choose. You can select the lowest set power setting and choose it to a wide-angle dispersal, and it can burn away whatever you want. Okay, so scans seem to indicate that the access ladder that you want is somewhere north of you, but that's when you hear a kind of a chittering sound. And a loud bang. Your tricorders start registering multiple life signs. And they're coming closer. That's when Phlesc sees something small and hairy kind of poke its nose around the corner. It starts sniffing at the air as it looks at you. Let's see. Where's the description of these things? They're small, six-legged. It looks like reptilian, but they have the countenance of a Terran rat, and it looks to be about 1 meter in length. At the moment, it's cautiously kind of moving in Phlesk's direction. It keeps sniffing. It keeps its nose low to the ground as it's regarding him with very small black eyes. And then folks, especially Hopkins, look behind and find there's one coming behind you guys.
Guys?
Then another
Very
one
good
appears.
friendly.
These creatures inch their way towards you, sniffing, keeping their heads low to the ground. But this one here eventually just bares its rodent-like teeth and emits this large hiss. The hackles on its back rise up, and it looks like it's going to charge, but not before you hear an answering couple of squeaks and hisses from the tunnels and other access points around the place, as you hear masses of furry bodies start scrabbling and scurrying through the various access ways, coming in your direction. So, I'm gonna throw us all into Inish. Yes?
Run away.
Yeah, run away.
So...
Tactical withdrawal.
I'm just doing the Monty Python run away.
Alright then, so...
I just did run away.
You've been given forewarning, basically, because the creatures hissed at you and announced their presence and called in backup. So one of you can definitely go first. Whoever wants to. You still
Which way
have
are
your
we running?
phases.
Are we running forwards or backwards?
I think we run the direction where there's none facing us.
Wait, what?
So,
Run towards
I
the
would say
ladder,
up.
basically.
yeah.
Oh, I thought there was a wall there. We can go that way.
The Twinkle.
Whoa. One at a time, one at a time, one at a time. Who wants to go first out of you guys?
I do. I'm too close to them. I want to run
Okay,
towards the
I
ladder.
had a feeling, but I didn't want to assume. Alright, Phlesc, you've got a quick action and a slow action, so... A quick action can be to move, or to draw a weapon.
I'm going to move. How close can I get to the ladder in one move?
You can move from this zone into this zone, so you can get as far as where I'm pinging.
Run away! Oh,
Gotta go around the wall first. Phlesc has yet to develop the ability to phase through walls.
whee!
One day.
Run!
So yes, Captain Sobek has to lean backwards as a filth-repulsed Phlesc goes charging down the corridor. Run away! Right, rats. Likewise, rat. Scamper, hiss.
So that was my quick action. I guess I can't take a slow action to draw a weapon.
You can take a slow action to draw a weapon, absolutely. You'll be able to fire it, but...
Yeah, I might as well, because I can't move any further, so I'll...
Who of you wants to go next? Anybody?
I'll go.
Anybody? Alrighty. Gurkow.
So, yeah, I'm gonna run away.
Okay, you two
One
can
foot
move
left.
from your current place to either here or somewhere else. Depending
Let
on
me
which
get rid of
direction.
my Hopkins sandwich.
You also can see another of these rat-like creatures coming up from the
Hey.
westward corridor.
Well, I have a bat that I want to get ready. That I
Oh
took
yeah,
from the
you
shop center.
pulled something from the... You'd pulled a pipe, hadn't you?
It was
That's-
a baseball bat, I think. I saw. Oh, beautiful. That's why I like.
So that just counts as having a bludgeon weapon, so you can pull that out ready to batter up, absolutely. But you won't get to
Yeah.
use it yet.
That's what I'll do. I'll just be primed and ready.
Nice. Rat. More rats called by the scent that you've left and the clarion call of their fellows. Who's next of you guys?
I'll move up a bit.
Okay. Garrow activates. Where do you want to go? Would you like to do with your turn?
I'm gonna fire a phaser at this guy here.
Okay, because you moved within the same zone you were already in, we won't cost that against your quick action because you didn't hardly moved any. So you can use a quick action to draw the weapon, and you can use your slow action to fire, so that's no problem. That's going to be a control and security check with your Type 2 phaser.
Sorry, control and...
Security with your focus of
Okay.
hand phasers.
And 2 dice, yep. Ready?
Please. Right, not bad. 3 successes, which means I've just realised that I can't see the momentum or the threat pools. So let's alleviate that.
Momentum 5, threat pool 10.
Well, momentum would have gone down by 1 as a result of the break between our... Oh, it already did do. I already did it. Cool. So, yep, you got one over what was needed, so you can either add that to the momentum pool or you can add it to damage.
Damage.
Alright, so roll your phaser and then roll an extra dice afterwards.
Type 2, ready?
Type 2, yes. The Type 3 was far too big to bring to a planetary survey mission. So, let's see, that was a successful hit, so you can roll 1 extra dice. You do that
That's
by
under public.
Perform Challenge.
Oh, perform challenge. Okay. 1 dice.
1 dice. Okay, nothing extra to add, but that's fine. 6 successes, 4 effects. You didn't have time to alter your phaser settings, so it's just going to be 6 successes. Let's get 5. Alright, So these things are pretty nimble and also pretty tough, it seems, as it takes a phaser shot and keeps coming. Nevertheless, that's Garrow done. Let's go with another of these little rat things. Fun. Can I get... Let me think. Can I get... Connie, you didn't get the chance to do anything much just now. You're just brandishing a bat. How do you fancy being Captain Sobek?
Right then, alright.
If you can give me a daring and security check for Captain Sobek, I will do the same for the rat. I didn't do terribly well, so it was no score draw. Okay, there we go. Who wants to go next out of you guys? Still got Captain Sobek, Lieutenant Sarin, Dr. Sott, Lieutenant Tavish, Commander Hopkins.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll take a pot shot at the Muragar. That's just in the center towards Garrow.
Okay, so a quick action to draw your weapon, a sort of action to shoot, control and security, difficulty 2. It's pretty good. One success is a miss, unfortunately.
Warning shot.
You wanted to spend determination to re-roll.
I've got some to spare at the moment. Let's do it.
Alright.
It's the 1 dice this time, yeah?
You can re-roll them both if you want, but I would keep the 3 if I were you. That's pretty good.
Yeah, okay, I'll re-roll the 1 then.
Much better. Cool. 2 successes, which means that is in fact a hit now. So roll damage for your Type 1 phaser, please. Okay. And these things have got a reptilian armored hide, so it seems to be protecting them from some of the shot's damage. Nevertheless, there's Dr. Sott. There's another one coming in from behind. Hopkins, there's a rat coming up behind you, so I'm going to need you to give me daring and security, as I do the same with the Muergar. Muergar gets nothing, so anything you get is advantage.
Can I use never back down determination?
If you really, really want to use determination in a fight with a rat, then absolutely you can. Which is just as well, because you rolled a 19. Ooh. 3 successes, which means you got 3 over and above what was needed, so you can put some or all of those back into... Looks like you don't get that back, I'm afraid. Never mind. But you can put all 3 extra into damage, or you can park 1 in momentum and use the extra 2 as damage. It's entirely up to you.
I'll just put 1 in back into momentum and then use the other 2 for damage.
Right, so roll your damage and then add an extra 2. So that was 6. Now roll the extra 2. To punch a ferret. There we are. So 8 successes, 2 effects, which means that's a 7. Nice. So you pretty much kick this thing further down the corridor. Whee! A soccer player's punt kick. Bam! Away it goes. Still very much alive. Kind of hurt. Who wants to go next?
Can I go next?
Absolutely you can. Hopkins.
Alright. Am I still within the same
You are
zone?
still within the same zone, so yes.
Okay, I'm gonna come to this one
Okay.
and punch this one.
Okay. Same again. Daring and security. I'll do the same. I am rolling fairly badly tonight, which means you get 1 over what was needed, so that 1 can be added to damage. Punch a rat. Splat the rat. One extra? Nothing. Okay, so 3 and 2 was enough to KO that one.
Cool.
So-
Can I grab the rat and be like, my pet? Taking this souvenir.
Well, it's unconscious, so as long as you got some way to keep it secure, for the moment it counts as defeated. But nice. Another one. Squeak, squeak, hiss. More meat. Who's left to go? Captain Sobek, Lieutenant Turin, Dr. Sot. No, Sot's gone already. So it's Captain Sobek, Lieutenant Turin, Lieutenant Tavish have yet to go.
I think Sobek had a draw. Oh, no,
Sobek did
that's
have a
alright.
draw when the Muragar attacked him, so now he can attack
Okay.
back. So if you want Captain Sobek to go next, that's fine with me.
WWSD. What was Captain Sobek do? If nobody has any objections, I guess Captain Sobek can go next.
Nobody seems to have
So-
objected.
I'm just thinking whatever he can do, and if it's too much for him to perform a nerve pinch on it, on the rat.
Man, he cannot. He hasn't learned the ability.
Okay.
He learnt mind meld instead.
Can he? I'm not suggesting he should mind meld with it, but I think he just has to strike it with his Vulcan strength.
His Vulcan strength indeed, daring and security. I will do the same for the creature. If I actually hit the button correctly. Ooh, I'm rolling a lot of 19s. Oh no, it's you that rolled the 19. Alright, this time Captain Sobek came out on top, so he can add 1 to the damage of his unarmed strike.
Yay! Roll.
4 successes, and roll challenge, 1 more challenge dice.
Yeah.
Nice. So 5 successes and a knockdown. So even Captain Sobek is surprised by how hardy these things are, but he does give it a good old whack and propels it a little bit down the corridor. He finds this whole thing rather distasteful, but there we go. Turin and Tavish are the only ones who have any turn left to go with, so what are they doing?
I'm going to shoot the one which Hopkins
Hunted.
hunted.
Cool, so
Yeah,
that's going to be a quick action to draw a weapon, a slow action to shoot it. That's going to be control and security, difficulty 2 with your type phaser.
Can I use a momentum, please?
If the guys are alright with that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
go for it then.
Thank you.
Liz, you're up.
Alright, so the momentum gives the extra dice, right?
Yep, so rolling
Yeah.
3 dice rather than 2.
1.
I see a 1. 4 successes! So, that was 2 over what was needed, so roll the damage for the phaser and add 2. Somebody's been practicing down the phaser range. Oof. You can spend a momentum to re-roll all of those. You can keep those 2. You can spend a momentum to re-roll those 3 that came up with nothing.
Yeah.
That's better! 5, 6, 7. So even minus that, that is 1 incapacitated rat. Cool. Not dead, just defeated. Okay, cool. So that was Tavish. Now we leave Turin. Would you rather Turin stand and shoot, or retreat to where Phlesc and Gurkha are at? Do you think?
So, Phlesc, do you think we can each take on a rat each, or do you think we need backup, basically?
I think we can take a rat each.
There are
Okay.
3 rats
Are
in
we
total
able-
up where you guys are, mind you.
Oh,
Because
I've already drawn my weapon. Are you able to set phasers to like a wide shot?
yes, you can.
Okay.
So Rin, in
Wait,
that
which
case,
one is
will use her turn to come up just in case you need backup. She'll draw a weapon ready, but won't do anything. And she really doesn't want to be anywhere near these creatures. So, that was that round. Let's go for a brand new round. So, since you had an action planned, Mark, let's go with Phlesk's turn. You can spend
Okay,
a
I
quick
guess I will.
action to change your phaser to use the area effect.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing.
So
then
it's
I'll
still control and security with a difficulty of 2. If you manage to hit and you roll an effect, you can gain multiple targets. So let's see how you do with that.
Cool. So desperation breeds inspiration. I'm going to use 1 point of determination.
Okay.
One task. Using determination. And I'm just rolling a 2. Yep.
Yes, indeed. Let's see how you do. Ooh, I see a 1, and a 1, and a 7. All extremely good shots. Why is it targeting that one down there? For some reason you shot the wall. Why did I shoot the wall? Because there was another target down. I haven't deselected. Let's make that better. There we go. So that was a successful shot. So roll for damage.
How many dice, sorry?
So, wow, good grief. 3 extra. Unless
So,
you want to
let's-
bank any number of them to the momentum pool, which is now down to 4.
No.
Okay.
take them out.
So I'm rolling 5 dice?
So basically, roll the damage for your type 2, and then
type
add
2
an extra
is
3 dice with
4.
rolling a challenge dice.
Okay, so perform challenge, I'm rolling 4 dice. But before I do that, Legion of Honor, in this case, I'd be doing more damage. Would it affect both of them?
Well, because you used area, it automatically affects the one closest to it. If you roll any extra effects on the damage, it can spread to any number of creatures within the same zone as it. And as it happens, there is one over here that technically counts as in the same zone. So,
So, yeah. Can I use Legion of Honor to gain 2 bonus momentum to add to damage as well?
if you want to, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Yep, I'm going to use Legion of Honor. So I'm rolling 4 dice to begin with, which is the phaser.
Not bad.
And then perform challenge again. So how many dice am I rolling for this?
So
It's,
you got 5 successes, which means you got 3 over what was necessary. If you're using Legion of Honor as well, that's an extra 5.
So an extra 5 dice. Okay.
This was one massive wide-angle beam.
There we go.
Same effect twice, so 8 with 2 effects. So yeah, you definitely rolled enough effects to affect everything in there. 8 in total, minus armor means we're down to 7. So the bad news is you don't take them all out in one shot. The good news is that you do affect 3 targets and whack them down quite a bit down their stress tracks. So you make them crispy, but not quite done.
There you go, Gurkal. That's the setup for you.
Thank you.
Indeed. So it's going to be one of the rats next, and that one's going to presume to attack the closest, which is Gurkal. So Gurkal gets the chance to use a bat. Daring and security, please. What is with the 19s that I keep rolling? Foundry hits me too today. 1 success, no score, draw. But Gurkal can go next if she wants to.
I'll finish them off. Hopefully.
Ready. So, same again. Play it again, Sam. Or Honey in this case. Ooh, I rolled a 1.
Oh, come on.
Oh. In this game of Mortal Kombat between a 6-legged rat and a Tellarite with a bat. And I just did a poem there without realizing I was going to. Alright, so that's a hell of a battle going on. Gurkhau's trying to splat the thing with this baseball bat she's picked up. It is just dancing from side to side whilst nipping at her as she's backing up and coming back with the bat. So yeah, blimey.
God.
That was funny. Another rat. This one doesn't like the fact that it was scorched by Phlesc. So Phlesc, daring and security, please.
Daring and security.
Ooh, I rolled a 1 again.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
It looks like I win. I get to roll an extra 2. Alright, so that is nothing on the bite. Nope. Alright, so effects don't do anything in that regard. So it's just 4 stress. You got bitten by a rat, so whether this triggers Phlesk's germ phobia. I mean, the stress doesn't necessarily mean that he actually does get bitten. It does mean that he comes very damn close to getting bitten, so that could be as close as he needs to start basically saying, yeah, get up! Who wants to go next? There's Garrow, there's Hopkins, there's Sot, there's Tavish.
Let's see. I'm gonna take a shot at this.
Ready.
This one here.
So you've got a quick action. Now that you've got your weapon out, you can tune your phaser to a different setting if you want to.
Which I will, and that's gonna be piercing.
Good idea. Okay then. So, control and security, difficulty 2, as per usual, with your focus on hand phasers.
Yep. Here we go.
Very good.
Hey. Bang.
So, you got 2 over and above what you needed. 1 or both of those can go into either the momentum pool or extra damage.
I'm going to put them both in damage.
Both in damage, alright. Screw this whole momentum pool saving bollocks, we're going straight for the damage. And now I've just made it a PG-13, so never mind.
Okay, so that would be type 2 phaser then?
Yes, please. That's a lot of dice. And you get to add an extra 2 on top of that.
Okay.
Nice. 7 in total, with armor piercing happening 3 times, so 7 is that one's down and out.
Good.
Getting a good lot of penetrative power there on the phaser shot. As such, you do take it out. The other one down. Very good. That's all Garrow can do for the moment, which means I am down to a single rat remaining. What's it gonna do? Alright. It tries to climb the wall and get into an access vent to try and find a way to circumvent Phlesc and Gurkhau and Turin. But in doing so, underestimates the how well the access panel it was climbing up is bolted to the wall. The access panel comes loose, it falls onto its back, and kind of basically wastes its entire turn. As it tries to free itself from underneath this access panel that just fell on it, with a very loud clank, so you can definitely tell where it is. Who wants to go next? We've got Hopkins, Tavish, Sot, Turin, Sobek. Does Hopkins want to go next? Does Tavish want to go next? Does Sot want to go next?
Come join the fight up here.
All the action's
I'm gonna
going on
run
up north.
there. I'm going to run up there.
Okay. Excuse me. Sorry, Liz, I didn't see you there. So Tavish moves. Tavish already has a weapon out, so you can make a shot with your phaser at regular setting at the moment. Which one?
Yeah.
The one on Phlesc or the one on Gurkow? They both seem similarly injured.
One on Phlesc. I'm not going to get punched in the. I'm not going to get punched in the face by Gurkow if I miss.
2 is an on-the-money hit.
Oh.
So, roll damage, please. Doesn't really seem to do anything. The power setting needs to be upped a little bit on the phaser, it seems. So that was...
Oh, it does it?
That basically was a bit of a wet fart of a shot, so,
I'll do it.
Oh,
Don't
no.
worry.
that'll be
Just give
next
you
time.
to hear that. Oh, bad idea.
I heard Matt going, Dave. do
Your
this."
phaser needs more power.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Does Hopkins want to go next, or does Sot want to go next?
Sorry, I'm muted. I'll mosey on up the corridor, see what's going on.
Ah, I see what you did there.
As a quick action, I will stand by here. I'll have a go at taking a shot. I'll go for the one on the left.
Okay. Control and security, difficulty 2. No. Well, you do have determination you can spend if you want to.
Yes,
roll
please.
one or both, rather than end
Yes,
up
please.
shooting one of your crew.
I'll just reroll the one.
Okie dokie. That was better. So it was a flat miss rather than anything catastrophic. So in trying to compensate for aiming, trying not to get Gurkow, unfortunately Sot's shot goes a bit wide. But otherwise doesn't cause any calamity. Hopkins. What do we want Hopkins to do? She doesn't have a weapon drawn at the moment. She is the weapon. So, what would Hopkins like to do?
And she pick up this rat and then run up there and use it to beat the other rats with it.
I will give you an improvised bludgeoning weapon momentarily. Stand by.
Just don't disintegrate it too much. We need a sample. We're gonna take a step back.
Oh no, she's actually not gonna use it. She's just gonna like hold it as a football and use the other fist.
Okay. I will love him and squeeze
So
him
an
and pet
armoured
him and
knuckle duster.
call him George.
Yeah, so she's gonna, if possible, like try to squeeze
Yeah,
here.
yeah, I'm alright. I'll allow that. It's fine. It's technically 2
Because as she's doing it,
zones.
she can.
Alrighty. You know the drill. Daring and security.
Yep, definitely not. I'm definitely gonna use never back down. 'Cause I want to.
Alright then,
Fancy
so
things.
that's 3 over and above what was necessary. The momentum pool is about halfway full now, so some more back in. Unfortunately, you do not get that one back either.
Yeah, we'll put 2 back in the momentum pool.
Okay, and 1 to extra damage. Ooh, that wasn't half bad. Nice. So 6 and 3 effects. 5 is 1 splatted rat. Cool.
Don't don't forget my don't forget the one I picked up over here.
Oh yes, I know you still got him. For ease of not cluttering the thingy, though, I will just assume it's a passenger. Which leaves Sobek and Turin. So, I mean, Turin may as well give it a go. I don't know if, Mark, you fancy giving Turin a whirl and see if she's any better a shot?
Alright, might as well use one. Has she got a weapon drawn?
She does.
Might as well set that to piercing.
Okay.
Can she shoot either rat or just the one?
She can shoot either rat, she can see them both.
Oh, might as well go for the one furthest away.
Okay.
Well, that's going to be...
Control and security. I don't think she has any focuses. Foci. Focuses.
Yeah, xenoanthropology might be a bit of a stretch.
An argument could be made. If I hit it there, one success, whoop days. She hits the wall, which leaves us with Captain Sobek. So let's see. Captain Sobek can do a quick action to cross this distance and use another action to, I don't know, draw a weapon maybe. Not much else he could do. He can't see an awful lot. And he was hand to hand with the other thing, so we'll finish that there. Okay, so new round. Whoever wants to go can go. Bearing in mind, you can see only two, but there are the sounds of more scurrying in. These were just the advanced scouts, or the advanced scouts, rather than the advanced scouts. There are definitely more coming, and it sounds like lots, so you want to be out of here as quickly as possible. The ladder seems like the best option. So you can either...
I want to swing my bat.
You want to swing your bat? Let's swing the bat.
And then we can all run off.
Gurkha wants to play Splat the Rat, so let's do that first.
Exactly.
So that's still going to be daring and security.
And
did I roll any better? I did.
come on.
Well, if you want to spend a determination, you can re-roll some or both of those rolls. Maybe the 15.
Yeah, I'll spend determination with
Risk taker. Or push the boundaries.
risk taker. Push the boundaries of rat bashing.
Exactly. This apparently is an elite warrior rat from the clash that happened last round, so you know.
Yeah.
You have to push yourself to your limits now to overtake this worthy foe.
Okay, rerolling.
Oh, that's much better.
Oh,
That is a damn good success. So you got one over what was needed, so that one can be either put into the momentum pool or spent for extra damage.
Let's see.
That's what good
I'll
for
just,
damage.
extra damage. Extra damage, yeah.
Yeah, finish it off.
Yeah. Finish it off.
Remember to bow respectfully afterwards as well when you finish it off.
Yeah.
You were a worthy foe.
Yeah, that's my equal warrior value, but of course that's why I didn't use that for rerolling. But yeah, I'm gonna bludgeon this rat.
Not too bad. And you got one over, so you can roll an extra one.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Still 4 with 2, minus that leaves 3, which is you defeated it. There we are. Smack. Basically, give this big old golf swing and smash the thing into the opposite wall, where it lies supine and limp. That's a good word, that.
Can I take it back as a sample?
Sure.
Okay, it's mine now.
Find out how it works. Hopkins, you've got a rather embarrassed-looking six-legged rat next to you, so it's looking to try and redeem itself in the eyes of its fellows, even though there's no more fellows left. So, oof. This guy really is... Oh, it was almost a 20. It rolled onto a 14, though, so you're good. 2 successes, which means 2 extra dice to damage if you want to spend one or both for extra boom. Both. I see. 5 with 3 is, yes, defeated. So, you've got a limited time before the backup of all these other rats arrive. So, it's time to make for the ladder. We're out of initiative now, so anybody can go.
Run away!
Okay. Who's going first?
Phlesc is panicking.
Phlesc is going. I'm not sticking around.
Just let him get on this.
So Phlesc starts going up the ladder as quickly as possible because the schematics kind of suggest that to go down you've got to go up and then around. However, as Phlesc starts going up at a breakneck speed, one of the rungs under his feet gives way and snaps. Can I get a control or a fitness and security check difficulty 2, please?
Okay, I've got absolutely nothing I can do with this.
No, sadly, climbing up ladders quickly is not a focus you chose to take. 1 success. You can choose to succeed at cost if you want.
Yes. Is that
Okay.
determination? Or...
No. That is a complication is now made, so as a result, Phlesc succeeds, but the rung has given way and it kind of clatters to the floor. There's now a big gap in the ladder, as you've basically snapped off a rung, which means it's going to be more difficult for everybody else.
Oh, sorry everyone.
So I'm just going to put
Panic
Phlesc off
Phlesc.
to one side here to represent he's managed to get away. Connie, if you could be your good mate, Captain Sobek. Likewise, give a control or a fitness and security check difficulty 3 now.
Oh dear.
We have momentum, if needed.
What do you do?
Could he use a focus of inspiration or invention after seeing the rung being one of the steps being broken? He's like, okay.
I can
Well,
use this to
some
go up instead.
creativity too.
All right. I will go with Captain Sobek has smarts and quick thinking enough to try and alter his means of getting up to use a focus. Yeah, I can go with that.
Okay, and I guess if the difficulty is 3, does anyone mind if I take a point of momentum?
Captain also has determination if you want to use one of those.
Yep.
There appears to be no objection to using a momentum for the captain.
Okay, I'll use that then.
Righty. 3 dice. Difficulty. What did I say was 3?
Yeah. Okay.
2. Okay. Once again, you can succeed at cost. But it's just going to make it much worse for everybody else. You can use a point of determinate with the captain's determination to reroll 1 or more of the dice.
I think I'll have him reroll the 16 using his curiosity. Can lead to surprising.
I can agree to that. Okay, mark off the point of his determination.
Yep. And then go with the invention or inspiration. Captain
Right.
Sobek, why?
Alright. Okie doke. Okie dokie dokie do. So what does this mean? He basically cuts himself on the ladder. Actually, no, let me roll 2. He's snapped rung, so he's taken 1, but as a result, it's now a bleeding injury. So, as a result of that. So Captain Sobek has made it, but he kind of slipped and cut himself on the way out. So, who wants to go next?
Can I go next, please?
Okay, Tavish.
Can I fix that? Can I fix that missing ladder rung?
Do you
I
want
have a
to
phaser.
be careful about it, or do you want to do it as quickly as possible?
Let's do it as quickly as possible and use a determination.
Daring and engineering, please.
And I will use. I'll use a value, and I'll use cool in a crisis.
Alright, so a point of determination off of Tavish then, please, Liz. Roll that. 20. Nice. So, that was a successful patch job of taking the broken rung and sticking it back on. With that many successes, I'm going to say that you repaired it so well it's going to last as long as nobody else messes this up. So the difficulty is back down to 2 for the ladder. So we are still on control or fitness and security. But Tavish...
No, Tavish is going to wait. Because if it goes wrong again, Tavish is going to try and do it again. Fix it again.
Plus you spent time fixing it, which gives somebody else time to use it. So who wants to go next? I will go with... Sot, you're closest.
Yep.
Let's see, control or fitness. We'll definitely go with control.
Control.
And security,
Control.
please.
Cool.
Difficulty 2. You get 1, so you can... If there's a way of you re-rolling that 18...
Go on then. It's my last determination.
Okay.
I've been having the most mid rolls today. Oh well,
it didn't want you to have anything but that. Okay.
Cool.
I'm going to say the same thing that happened to Captain Sobek happens to Dr. Sot. 1 stress off and a bleeding injury. So you cut yourself on some of the broken metal that's sprung out. Ouchies. Next! Garrow, Hopkins, Turin, Gurkow.
Turin. I think Turin's next.
Alright. Shall I do Turin then, so that the blame is firmly on me if it fails? Or...
No, let somebody else do it.
Okay.
I can't do it. So it's not my fault.
Liz, you're already hovering over Turin. Why do you do it? Her control's definitely better than her fitness, so... Oop, that's... No. Alright, somebody else hurts themselves?
Yeah. She does have 1 determination. Can I reroll both?
Sure. Go for it.
Oh,
Much better.
there we go.
Much better. One of you finally succeeds in getting up a ladder without hurting yourselves.
Guys, I'll be honest, I don't think we're ready to fight the Dominion.
Well, this is why you're on a vessel of exploration rather than war.
We can fix a starship, which is very, very complicated, but we can't go some ladders without hurting ourselves.
You can't go up. Let's actually make this fair. You can't go up a ladder quickly whilst escaping from a horde of possibly diseased rats.
Drop it. I don't.
Even ninja rats. However, next.
Okay, let's have a go.
Let's see what's highest. Both your fitness and control are highest on Garrow, so either one of them will do.
Okay, so fitness and
Security.
okay. Survival?
Could go up a ladder?
Maybe not. I mean, if it, I'd say if it was.
I'm gonna
No,
go
people
with
being
probably.
stabbed by it.
Okay, I was about to say if it was mostly, you know, half. Okay, so 2 dice or what?
2 dice, please.
2 dice.
Difficulty 2.
Oh no! Legion of Honor. Legion of Honor.
I know I'm not going to say succeed at cost because we already know what that entails.
Oh, yeah, and I managed to. Amazing that one ladder
Can cause
just
so
shove
much
me off.
destruction.
Use no. I was gonna say use a determination.
If you want to use one of your 2 remaining determination to re-roll, that's fine.
Do it. Okay.
Alrighty.
Instead
Re-roll
of,
one of
I was
both.
gonna say instead of using Legion of Honor.
Dear
Okay.
me.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just the 1 dice then.
I would re-roll both if I were you.
No.
One's 18 and
You
the other's
roll
20.
both.
Roll them both.
Yeah.
Harder than
Both
the
are
rest.
60.
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't escape taking bleeding. Next!
Oh no.
You're-
Tavish is gonna wait until everybody's up because if this needs fixing again,
Gurkow, you're up.
Gurkha, you're next.
Yeah, I'll go.
Either control or
Um,
fitness. Both are the same for you. Actually, no, fitness is best for
Yeah,
Gurkow.
and I can't use my security, right?
Security is the discipline you're going for, yes.
Yeah. And I can't use my hand-to-hand combat to submit.
No, you're not fighting
make
the ladder.
submit. No. It almost feels like it.
Although, if you did, the ladder seems to be winning an awful lot against other people at the moment, so...
Okay. What if... Can I use the reading, my did the reading talent, if it's animal momentum, and use science instead?
You know, that seems ridiculous that you studied a textbook on how to get up a ladder safely using science.
I studied the others.
But for the sake of expediency, let's go with yes. I read that if I don't put my hand anywhere near the bit of the rung that got snapped off, I might evade taking tetanus. I could prove it with an Etch-a-Sketch and a calculator.
We're happy. I'm going to take a point of momentum. And then... both is okay.
Ooh.
Come on.
What's going on?
This ladder is mean, man. Well,
Is
you
this
know,
the final boss?
again, ladder. Final boss, ladder, fight. Fatality. Again, you can re-roll the 20 by spending determination. Or you can leave the complication there.
I will reroll a 20, and I am sticking it to the man.
Yes, I
Which in
think
this
you better
case
at
is
this
the
point,
ladder.
because the man is definitely the ladder, yes. Nay, ladder, you shall not triumph. You watch now. There we are, that's better.
Oh, God.
Success! Turns out that if you do not put your hand on that rough bit of rung, then you don't get cut. Hopkins! Hopkins' turn to finally put this embarrassment aside. he says, hopefully. Oh, dearie me.
What do I need to roll to get the Covenant to come and, like, install a lift?
Diplomacy, or rather, I should say, presence and command, I think. Hey, you got your determination back. Yay! Not that it made a hell of a difference because you rolled the 18 again a second time, but never mind. Alright. To cease this embarrassment going any further...
I've got this.
Is Tavish going to try anyway?
Yeah.
Alright, go for it. Go for
What
it.
is it?
Control and security, please.
Watch how the chief engineer does this. Going up a ladder.
Well, I'll be.
Oh!
Does, indeed. It's like, what's all the fuss about, guys? Seriously. Wow, jeez. Alright, so you... Basically, everybody is trying to get up that ladder as fast as possible because they can hear the sheer mass of these rodents coming in your direction. So it drives everybody to be a little bit more careless with how they proceed up, which means folks... The majority of folks do nick themselves on the rung that was hastily put back in place after Phlesc managed to basically snap it in his haste to get away. So a lot of folks, except for, I think, Turin and Tavish and Gurkha, were the only ones to get away without snagging themselves on this rung. So...
Let us not talk of this again.
So, you go on down these various corridors and tunnels for a bit longer just to make sure that you've given these creatures the slip. And when you finally do, Dr. Sot is finally able to attend to everybody's wounds. So, let's definitely have a control and medicine check. Actually have insight and medicine first from Dr. Sot to see if he can check whether or not folks have got tetanus or something from cutting themselves on a rusty ladder run.
I don't trust my rolls today. We'll see.
There's still momentum in the pool. But you're doing medicine, which is 2 successes. Right, the good news is nobody has got tetanus. So that's good. So now it's just a case of using like a dermal regenerator to stop people's wounds from continuing to bleed. So... But that whole escapade was very stressful for everybody, so the stress you suffered stays off for now. But everybody who I gave the bleeding injury to can take it off. Which is pretty much everybody except for Turin, Tavish, and Gurkha. So I'll take it off of Sobek.
Sorry, just looking at the gifs that just popped up.
Yes, when ladders when ladders fight back. And
Where can we find the bleeding?
under injuries, so Phlesc is fine. He didn't suffer a bleeding injury, but he did take a bit of a knock from nearly falling. Everybody else can delete the injury, but the slight humiliation remains.
Yeah, the wounds to our pride are definitely still there.
If it is agreeable with everybody else, says Captain Sobek, we will all leave this particular episode out of our logs, I think. Let us continue.
Yes,
Agreed,
please.
agreed.
100% agreed.
Yes.
Anyone mentions this on the ship, and you will have to pull more duty.
I would recommend scraping the holodeck filters as a punishment due to... On we go. Alright. Proceeding a little bit further along, you eventually come to a wide open area. Oops, it's zoomed quite far out. There we are. This appears to be some kind of factory or production level. There's an awful lot of what looks like metallurgical processing and refinement going on. What was that, sorry?
I went, hey, I've got a focus.
It makes sense. They've built a space station into an asteroid, and asteroids commonly have a lot of very useful metals and mineral deposits in them. Most notably of which is the one that I failed to remember, iridium, I think. So it makes sense that a space colony founded on an asteroid would also process a lot of the mineral deposits that are found within. The power signature is coming from somewhere that suggests that to go onwards you need to get over there, where I'm currently pinging. There are numerous walkways and ladders and catwalks and whatnot that seem to suggest paths over, so it's entirely up to you to decide which way you want to go.
Can I sort of make a check with familiarity in the process? What would be the safest and quickest way to progress?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me an insight and engineering check.
And with my focus.
Yeah.
Cool.
Chance to get some extra... Oof.
Or not.
Okay. Well, Phlesc has never been actually part of any kind of mining colony or anything like that, you know. Mostly it's academic knowledge. But it makes sense that the bits that have got glowing hot embers are the bits you possibly want to avoid, since they're going to be generating a lot of heat. So avoid those bits, basically. Otherwise, it's just a case of finding a way across. So Captain Sobek is just moving along. There appear to be a pair of different walkways proceeding across. Now becomes a choice as to which one.
Probably going to go straight ahead.
Straight ahead. Okay, so keep on going. Dr. Sott takes a pokes a look into another room. Mostly it seems to be equipment. The equipment down here is functioning, but from the way that you can hear everything grinding against itself, once again, it doesn't appear that anybody has been doing much maintenance down this area. It is, however, fiercely hot. Which the...
Yeah, no,
Go on.
I was just going to say I saw the live electricity going off in there and I noped out. I don't trust my rolls today if anything untoward happens.
The only two people currently very comfortable with the increased temperature are the Vulcans. Nevertheless, there appear to be two ways across. Okay, so before Dr. Sott and Phlesc go too much further across, I will allow both to give me... Let me see. Insight and science for both, please. Or insight and engineering if you've got it higher. I won't say what the difficulty is. Metallurgy will help Phlesc make this.
Thank you.
This roll. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Ooh, right. So as Dr. Sott gets to there, Phlesc is about to bound across when he notices cracks. And pretty much has to hang on to Dr. Sott's collar as he goes across, blithely unaware of the potential for putting your foot on a section of bridge that looks like it's going to give way if you put too much weight on it. So,
Can we still get past
You can still get past, it's just going to require a bit of a run and a jump. But if you hadn't have spotted it, things could have gone a lot worse.
Still going to run and jump, but also let everyone know, don't step here.
Yeah, so hopefully everybody can see that cracked area by there. Basically signifies that this walkway is very much looks weakened structurally, so everybody has to basically jump across. With everybody's rolls being what they have been at the moment, I don't think I'm going to chance task rolls from the lot of you. We'll just call it forewarned is forearmed, and you can make it across, but you're now aware that there's a bit you have to jump to get across. But Phlesc does like the look of this area. I will allow Dr. Sott to give me a very quick insight and medicine check, please. With a focus of... emergency medicine.
Sure.
Cool. You definitely spot the dead Muragar. And by the looks of the injuries, you can see lots of burns and lesions, which suggests radiation poisoning. Radiation burns. Something in the nearby area is emitting radiation and therefore it has the potential to do harm. Which means I reduce this by 1, 2, 3. So. Unfortunately, it looks like the tunnel that you have to go down in order to get to where you want to go is the way that the radiation is coming from. However, anybody who wants to make an insight in medicine or insight in science check to try and find a solution to such can do so. I mean, Sott, again, emergency medicine will do nicely for this because you know about such.
First, with an emergency parent figure.
Assist with
probably
parent
don't
figure.
need
Yeah,
it.
not that he needs it, because damn, but every
Last.
additional assist is a good one.
Alright, I'll insight in medicine.
1 dice, please. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. So you definitely got over and above what was needed there, so you get 2 back. Yeah. So, Dr. Sott retunes his medical tricorder so that it picks up radiation that killed the Muragar rat thing. So, with this early warning system going off like a Geiger counter, even though you're going to have to proceed down the tunnels that the radiation is coming from, you can avoid the worst and most damaging parts of it as a result of Dr. Sott's modification to his tricorder. So, you are all able to get Scowl at Sobek for not letting Phlesc take his EVAC. Sobek and the others can get across the bridge easily enough without needing to make a check, because let's face it, we don't trust our checks anymore. Yeah,
Join
so
the club on scowling at Sobek. Because she's still scowling at him for not letting her bring her bat lift.
raises 1 eyebrow. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. This gives her the Vulcan eyebrow in response. Yes. Okay. So, there is a way onwards and down, and you have to take a couple of alternative... Jeez, I keep using this phrase. Routes. A couple of alternative routes to get down to where you need to get down. But sooner or later you start getting increased power readings. And you eventually end up in this area. The power source readings are very close by, so you just came from this way, which looks like it might at one point have been like an automated tram system as a means of getting about the lower levels of this area quickly. Doesn't look like this thing has worked in an age, but at least you were able to use the tram tunnel as a means of getting to this area. The power readings seem to be coming from further down this corridor. The area is lit, but the lights are flickering intermittently. There is a door ahead of you, it currently closed. You should still have full use over your control of your tokens, so...
I'm not sure I trust a red light right by that door. Phlesc is going to go forward.
Right. So you come out into what looks like some kind of channel. The water's a bit strange coloured. Engineers, and those with a good knowledge of engineering, will point out that those pipes suggest that this is some kind of coolant system. Or maybe the exhaust or drainage for said coolant system. Let's bring Sobek along. Garrow, you're being left behind a bit there.
Sorry.
Very bright in here.
It is. It's very, very bright. Open up into a new room. There are a couple of what looks like radiation suits or worker EV suits. Don't look like they've been used in a long, long time. What they do have are these weird kind of like garlands put around their necks, but made out of spare bits of like cogwheels and whatnot, rather than actual plant matter. Excuse me.
Can I check to see if they fit and be safe?
Yes, they look like they're sized for regular sized humanoids like yourselves.
Can I check the condition of the medical equipment?
Yes, you can. The medical equipment looks like it is gone largely unused as far as like the stethoscope and stuff goes, but the actual boxes which look like emergency first aid boxes are all empty. Looks like they've been used. There's evidence that some of the contents may have crumbled away with time.
Phlesc wants to put on a safety suit.
Okay.
More of a barrier between him and the outside.
It's extraordinarily musky in there. It's it's the smell of age, of something that's gone unused for a long time, so it's almost stiff with the years. So for a moment, Phlesc is walking around like he's a character that's just been loaded into a computer game with his arms out to his side, as he tries to bend the material that's been in the same position for countless years. He looks a bit comical, to say the least.
Garrow, can you give me a hand just bending these joints so they're flexible? Get a bit of
There's this
BFI.
crinkling kind of snapping sound as the material starts to give way. It's like really old leather. Has a kind of dry, crinkling immovability to it. It does eventually yield, but it's still really stiff. Okay. There's another door ahead of you. Some of the lights are still flickering, some of them are still very much operational. Okay, opening that door. You eventually open up into a large space filled with very ancient-looking machinery. The chamber whirs and hums with the sound of electronics and the hiss of released gases. The air smells of oil and ozone. Massive cylinders containing the station's power-generating devices fill much of the chamber. Pipes, tubes, and cabling run from the cylinders to the walls, vanishing into access tunnels. Glowing display screens with streaming hieroglyphs are interspaced throughout. Some of the machinery and cables show signs of recent patches and repair. Humanoid figures can be seen to dart about in the shadows and hide behind the machinery. Many of them appear hunched and misshapen, and they wear rags of what might once have been clothing. They are watching you from their hiding spaces, but are making no sound.
Can Turin have a look at those hieroglyphs to see what they could mean?
Sure. Let me just illustrate where these creatures are kind of hiding. Turin. Where'd Turin go? I think her token is beneath somebody else's. There we go.
I'm getting a lot of this. I'm right next to a wall where I can't actually see.
Because you're on a gantry further above. So you could have used the stairs to come down, but that's fine. I can move you.
Okay, I couldn't see the.
Garrow, like Phlesc, has yet to develop the ability to walk through walls.
Okay, yeah, I just couldn't see the railing through the.
That's
my
fine.
character.
I'll forgive you this once. All right,
Leapt
Turin
heroically
having
over the banister.
look. What was that? Sorry, Chris.
I say he just leapt heroically over the banister.
Well, the hieroglyphs Lieutenant Turin isn't able to make much of, but she does recognize that these are basically display panels showing the current state of the machinery. Now, these... those of you who are using your tricorders in regards to tracking power readings and whatnot, the scans show that this apparatus is generating incredible levels of energy of an unknown kind. But because Dr. Sott actually modified his tricorder in the way that he did, Dr. Sott is also detecting a low-level background radiation that is technically harmful to humanoids, but only after extended levels of exposure, so we're talking weeks or months. So, for the moment, nobody's in any real danger, but if you hang about here for any extended period of time, it might become a problem. You can spot about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 creatures dotted about the room. They're all very much huddling in the shadows, watching you. They're not doing anything.
Can Phlesc just sort of approach Tavish and go, let's try and work out how this works and see if we can make this a little less dangerous to stay in.
Okay. Anybody who wants to... Yeah, go on.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Well, let's do this.
I'm going to require Insight and Science from one, and Insight and Engineering from another, both of which are difficulty 2, and they'll take about an hour for you to diagnose the difficulty. Oh, but what?
I've got Insight 10, Science and Engineering 5, so I don't mind leading. But it's
Insight. If it's independent, I've got an Insight of 8, Engineering at 5, Science at 4.
Tell you what, then I'll.
So do you want to do the science and I do the engineering?
Yeah.
Okay. So Insight and Engineering.
This is difficulty 2, so anything to do with power systems or that kind of thing will do as
I was going to say.
Yeah, I've got power systems focus. So I've got number of dice in port 2.
Am I helping out, or am I doing
No,
this
you're doing your own
independently?
independent role.
Oh,
Okay.
Do I want to take a moment?
That's a question
Damn.
only you can answer.
I'm gonna
Team,
get.
Go on, Dave.
I was going to say, I'm getting Liz to do all my roles from now on.
She's doing very well, yes.
Cheers.
does the team have any problem with me taking momentum? Just to.
Would you
Not
want
at all.
somebody to help? I mean, Gurkow could always help.
Yeah,
But then should Phlesc assist then if he's got the? But then
Entirely
just
up to
thinking
you.
about parent figure, that is.
a parent figure I can lead or assist. So as long as I'm involved, it doesn't matter which.
Okay, you can be the main. I'll assist.
Feel that momentum.
Okay, 1 dice from Gurkow then, please.
Oh, good job. Parent figure.
Not doing
Thank
well
goodness for that. Thank goodness for parent figure. Okay. So, between the 3 of you, it'll take you about an hour to look over all of the equipment in turn, using scans, using your innate knowledge of how things work, to diagnose what's wrong. You've managed to get a good idea of what's going on. Certain power systems aren't routing power correctly. All this energy is being stored in one place and isn't going out. So it seems that certain conduits have corroded or just plain failed and will need to be replaced. It's nothing that you can't, that's outside of your ability to do. It will just take a bit of time to do. Perfectly within your powers to actually accomplish. Obviously, the more of you that are working on it, the less time it will take to do. But for those of you who aren't taking part in diagnosing and fixing the problem with the power core, you can maybe approach the issue of what you would like to do in regards to the other creatures in the room. We'll get on to how successful you guys were with what you could diagnose in a moment, as far as the reactor goes.
Who'd be best for trying to talk to the creatures? Sobek or Turin?
Well, Hopkins, as it turns out, has also got linguistics.
Oh, yeah. There you go, Hopkins. Some Klingon diplomacy.
So let's have Tavish and Phlesc and Gurkow over here doing the engineering and science-related problems. Folks who want to do the other stuff and try something else. So how are you approaching this? These guys are currently just cowering away from you, and if you recall, the Covenant told you that the Apostate were basically deformed creatures that attacked folks on sight. If these are the Apostate, they're not behaving as you said they were going to behave.
I mean, she's going to... Hopkins still petting the armored rat. Is going to try to talk to them.
Okay.
Calmly.
Alright, so... Presence and command. Difficulty 1 then, please. Anybody who wants to help can do so. But those who want to stand back and watch and see what happens can also do so.
I'm hoping focus on linguistics.
Yep.
I don't mind helping as well.
Okay.
Can flex my new command buff.
Sure.
Spencer, I got social animal on here, so I might try and help out as well.
Okay. So
What
that's
was the
presence and command. But it'll be 1 dice from both Sot and from Garrow.
1 dice?
Please.
Right.
Nice.
Not bad.
And middling. Okay. But we'll get to that in a second. So, not approaching them in any kind of aggressive way. Hopkins draws upon her linguistics training and tries a few things, modulating her voice in certain ways that basically prove, you know, not here to harm you. Hello, who are you? We are. And what happens is that the creatures kind of venture out a little bit from their hiding places and regard you curiously, and then they start gesturing in various different forms. And you realize that it's like sign language. They're using hand signals to communicate. So anybody who wants to, as a result of that, I mean, what's Turin's like? Not bad, but she's not as good as you guys at doing certain things, so she can certainly help. Anybody who wants to can give me an insight and medicine task, difficulty 1.
Could I potentially use, like, cultural studies if I did it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Anybody who wants to assist Sot can do so if they wish. I mean, Turin will
if I
probably help
use
out. Go on.
linguistics, can I use insight and security? To make sure that these they're not trying to be hostile.
If you're approaching... Oh, jeez. Okay, there goes Turin's Legion of Honor. Oh, no, she doesn't have one. She'll use a determination. Oh, well, that worked. It's not just you guys getting these god's awful results. It's better than nothing. Okay, go on then, use security. If you are taking that tack, then yes.
I can still use the
security.
Pokemon linguistics.
Yes, please. Linguistics, yes.
1 dice. I almost rolled 2.
6, excellent. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in total. Okay. So the hand gestures are pretty primitive. You get the general gist, and they are basically asking you who you are and what you're doing here. But the real insight here comes mostly from Dr. Sot, who realizes that the hand signals is one thing, but the Apostate, now that you can see more of them, are definitely suffering from numerous mutations, more than likely as a result of hanging around this radiation source for so long. Even to the point of that they all appear to have mutated, where the skin around their mouths is all kind of crusted over and sealed shut, so they've had to learn hand signals as a means of trying to communicate. Now, if you had the proper equipment, you could maybe treat some of this if you were back on your ship. But the most interesting observation you make, mostly Dr. Sot, but as soon as he mentions it, the rest of you, when you look, it makes a great deal of sense, is that when you regard the Apostate and kind of strip away the mutations and the various different deformities they've got, they read as the same race as the Covenant. They're the same species. It's just that they've been mutated after who knows how many generations of exposure to the radiation coming from this not quite working as well as it should power source. So, with this knowledge in mind, what would you like to do next? Bearing in mind, Tavish and Gurkow and Phlesc at this point are busy still looking over everything and trying to see what it is they need to fix, and are kind of coming up with a game plan of how to fix things. Be right back from Liz. Okay, what kind of approach does everybody else want to take in regards to this new knowledge they have now accrued? Nothing? Okay. We'll let that stew for a moment then, and we'll get right down to making the actual repairs.
I was going to say, it's a shame we don't have, like, is anybody here sort of trained in... I was going to say, I guess Turin is our closest to, like, a comm officer, right? Like, communicate or, like, learn a language on the fly.
Well, Hopkins, like we've noted, has got linguistics, so she is the best one at picking up the sign language. So, but these creatures can hear and understand you. It's just that they're not able to verbalize a response, so they have to use hand signals to communicate back.
Okay.
Can Captain Silbeck do a mind meld?
He could.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Okay. Then Hopkins will have to pretty much convince them, which I'll just go on the success you've already established. Hopkins uses her linguistic ways to assure the apostate that the captain is going to set up a means of communicating that involves physical touch and will allow him to understand you. So Captain Sobek will indeed perform a mind meld. So this is going to be an insight and let's go insight and command. So since you suggested it, who suggested the mind meld? Was it Connie? Or was it Mark?
Yeah.
Yep. Go for it then, Connie.
Insight.
Insight and command.
Sorry, what's command? Oh, lovely ones. Then just look at the focuses. Could he use persuasion as a way to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
My mind to your mind. No, really, this is fine. Yeah, sure. Persuasion sounds good to me.
Go. Lovely.
2 successes. Nice. The mind meld is established. Okie dokie. While that's going on, let's have Tavish, Gurkow, Phlesc deal with the problem at the engineering side of things. So, repairing this massive engine so that power actually flows into all the proper places is going to require a big old task, so it will require a good bit of help. This is going to be reason and engineering. The difficulty is going to be 5. The complication range is also going to be 4. Multiple characters can assist, but the assistants make control and engineering checks, not reason and engineering. So whoever you want to draft in to help with this...
Do we want Tavish to be the head of this?
Tavish has got reason 10, engineering 5, and therefore those who take control and engineering make control 9. Control 9.
My control's 9, my reason's 10, engineering 5.
So both of you got the same reason and engineering. Tavish is a lot better at control and engineering, so it's entirely... If you're looking at which is the better numbers to use, it would suggest that Tavish is probably better not leading, but assisting.
I'm gonna lead it then. I'm happy to lead it. I just wanted to double check. Is this an extended task?
It is not. It's a one and done thing.
Okay. Cool. So I can't use in the nick of time. but I might be able to use the Starfleet Medal of Honor if things work out.
I will take Nick of Time into mind, though. It's a good point.
It's additional work for every effect rolled. So. I
mean, Gurkow can definitely assist with her control and engineering.
Just I did the reading.
Yeah, you can do the reading bit as long as you spend the momentum for it.
Of course, if everyone's okay for me spending momentum.
Take it.
Okay.
I'm
just...
with leading it. Oh, sorry.
I will say that you could probably do with having Garrow assist with this as well, because his control and engineering isn't bad.
I was going to say I was going to spend a determination instead, because that'll give us the 5 dice.
That's the 5 dice. Okay, no, that makes perfect sense to me.
Okay, so I don't really need to do any focus on this one.
You don't need to assist on this one at all, as it turns out. They've got the maximum number of dice they can use, so...
So use my focus.
So we'll get you still helping out with the Apostate in just a sec, but let's find out how these guys do with the repairs.
Don't have anything for focus range, so I should get to do this. Oh, okay.
Nice. 3 successes, 1 success, and this is now down to Tavish. So Liz, if you could get us control and engineering for Tavish, please, that would be spectacular.
Focus on power systems.
Yes, yes. Wow. Exactly what you needed on the money. Very good. Very, very good. Alright, so you know what you need to repair. You've identified the problems, you know which bits to replace and how to shunt the power from one place to another, re-engage the coolant system properly so that it's actually working. All of that jazz you have got. It'll take you a good bit of time to do. You estimate the repair will probably take about 2 hours, but thanks to Phlesc with a bit of time saving, some time-saving techniques can be used and narrow it down to just over an hour. But nevertheless...
This is when I'm going to ask about the Starfleet Medal of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Upon successful momentum... gain 2 bonus momentum on a successful task. Can I use that to speed things up?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'll use my Starfleet Medal of Honor.
Alright, in that case, then you earn the extra momentum and put them into accomplishing the task within a shorter amount of time. Good. Cool. So, let's see. Captain Sobek's mind meld reveals, when he comes back to tell you guys about what he encountered when he mind melded with that one apostate. These guys, the apostate themselves, have lived in this sorry state for a long, long time. They have lived this way for as long as they can remember. They always remember being individually sick, so they don't actually consider it being sick. They are aware that they have got limitations, but they've just kind of accepted it. Nonetheless, they seem to have a similar problem to what you encountered levels and levels above with the Covenant, in that so much time has passed. What they do know of this machinery is more has turned into more fable and ceremony than anything else. Nothing has any actual working knowledge behind it anymore. It's just rote and ritual. You do learn that a good number of apostate do live down here. They're not allowed to live anywhere else. According to what the mind of the apostate that Sobek joined with, they're told to stay away from the levels above because the ones up there are basically violent who will attack you on sight for the way you look. So it seems according to the apostate, the Covenant, not that they know them by that name, but the Covenant have often had a policy of attacking any apostate they see as soon as they see them. and not letting them proceed any further up the levels of the station than the Apostate have been allowed to exist in. As such, they've been left in this pretty sorry state. They've learned to live off of things like cave lichen and other kind of fungi that exist in various other tunnels nearby. So overall, the story that the Apostate have over the Covenant appears to be very similar to the story the Covenant have over the Apostate. One thing that does come across interesting, though, is the Apostate mentioned that there is this fabled healing place very close, where apparently their ancestors would go to in order to receive healing from this machine that could cure them of their ills, but no one has been able to figure out how to use it in quite some time. But they do know where it is if you want to be led there. Otherwise, Dr. Sott reckons that if he can find a clean enough space using the tools he's got on his person. Actually, that's a good point. Sott. Don't you have... You do. Field medicine. So working without the proper tools or equipment holds no hindrance to Dr. Sott. He can use whatever he finds. So Sott reckons that he could probably help cure, or at the very least, if not cure, alleviate a good many of the Apostate's problems to do with this radiation poisoning. Might not be able to cure their inability to speech right away, because generations of being mute appear to have left the Apostate with a very limited vocabulary, so even if they were able to speak, for a while they'd probably still rely on their gestures to get more complex ideas over, because they haven't had a verbal language in quite some time. But it does seem like it is possible to actually medically help or even cure the Apostate. And now we learn that Gurkow and Phlesc and Tavish are being very successful with their repairs to the power systems, and so they don't reckon they've got long left before systems should be returned to normal. And that is when you hear the sounds of many feet approaching down the very corridor that you guys just came in. And sure enough, around the corner comes High Curate Meharon with a very large amount of Covenant blessed, all of them wielding, those batons holstered at their sides, but they're all wielding what looks like some kind of primitive projectile weapon in their hands. High Curate Meharon is the first around the corner and says, "I knew it! You've been consorting with the Apostate! You are false prophets! It is about time that we finally sorted both you and these blasted creatures out. Then the gods will know that we have cured the impure from our number, and that we can finally be given our due reward." At which point the blessed start cocking their weapons and getting ready to open fire. Meanwhile, the Apostate all scurry back to their hiding places. What are you going to do? You going to take these guys on in a fight, or...
Oh, we can definitely try and talk them down. Now that we know more and we've fixed it.
Go on, Dave.
Tavish looks like she's just about to say something, but then shuts up.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things in mind to say, but probably not the best time to insult.
Go on, Liz.
I am trying to figure out a way to use my talent of diffuse the tension.
Cool.
Oh.
Good. You attempt to a task to persuade someone not to resort to violence, and if you do, you may add a bonus d20 to your roll. So basically, presence and command to talk them down, and you will add a free bonus d20 to it, so you get to roll 3 without even having to dip into momentum.
Can we get Sobek assisting? As he's got high presence and command.
Yeah, sure.
I haven't got a high presence, but I do have a high command.
Do we
And
want
I do want to
Tavish
use
to
the-
assist? Sorry, go on,
I
Liz.
do want to use my focus on negotiation.
That's a good point. Negotiation is a very good talent to have. Focus to have in this regard. So yeah, definitely. So 3 dice for you. If Sobek is Mark, since you came up with the idea, why don't you roll for Sobek 1 dice?
Cool.
He's using presence and command.
Use persuasion. As a
Yeah,
focus.
good point. I think that's a good idea.
Would my talent advisor work in this?
Whenever you assist another character using command, the character being assisted may re-roll a d20. Absolutely, it does. Yes. So if we can have a presence and command roll from
re-roll that
Tavish, that would be good.
Yeah,
Alright.
re-roll that 17 as well, Liz.
Yep.
Ooh, wow, lots of good rolls. So re-roll the 17 that Hopkins made. Oh, look at that! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Hopkins, Sobek, even Tavish, who stops working. They all get up and, you use placating gestures and say, please, we don't have to resort to violence. You bring up the point that these people are the same as you, which is met with, a contemptive snort. But this can prompt Dr. Sott to come forward and say, I've got the medical scans here that prove it. You people are the same, but we can cure these people. We can fix the power problems your installation is having. You just need to not resort to violence. So with all those successes, you use reason, you use evidence as a means of bringing the tension down. Now, High Curate Meharon is still very, let's use the word hesitant, to come forward too much, but with what you all just said together, and the words you used and the language we used to do it, you can see that the security covenant, as it were, the blessed as they're called, they all start sharing glances between them, and you're very persuasive, so they themselves are now looking at each other and then looking at the Apostate and going, I can see, actually, they do look rather similar to us if you just take away the mutations. So, High Curate Meharon, in the meantime, is looking very... not confused. High Curate Meharon is taking all of this in and has a look of someone who is now having their entire worldview, their prejudices thrown entirety into question, and having a bit of a hard time processing it. But upon hearing that they might get cured, members of the Apostate do come forwards and are looking very, very hopefully at you guys. And this whole situation, as High Curate Meharon is looking over all of this, she's noticing that the Apostate aren't attacking, and you guys, with those incredible successes on that persuasion, basically say, look, the Apostate aren't attacking. They're not the animals that you thought they were. So if that's not true, what else might not be true? Like maybe us being the messengers of the gods? And so you do successfully talk them down. High Curate Meharon and the others holster their weapons. They are definitely not going to fight now, and they basically want to know what comes next. What do they do? So, you successfully managed to complete the complete the repairs after some time of work. Basically, it's all you guys doing it together because, like I've noted, neither the Covenant nor the Apostate know how to do this anymore. So they're watching with interest as you move about the machinery. Meanwhile, those who are more interested in talking can start sharing ideas and whatnot with the Apostate and the Covenant, who are there to listen. So the last thing I would like us to do is, some of the Apostate show Dr. Sott in the direction of this healing machine that they told you of. And what they basically lead Dr. Sott to is essentially an old medical bay. It's got a rather rough equivalent of a biobed and other such diagnostic equipment. So getting that up and running again, you could almost definitely use it and put on an automated process where these biobeds would pretty much do the job of curing the Apostate. What you need to do first, however, is evaluate the medical facility in order to get a better view of how to actually program this. So anybody who wants to assist Dr. Sott can give a reason and medicine check with a difficulty of 2 to try and figure out how the machinery works. I mean, Turin can help. She's got reason 10 and
I'm just
medicine 2.
Am I doing a 2 dice roll reason medicine?
Yes, please.
Cool. Anything I can use focus-wise? Not really, I guess, is there?
Well, let's have a look. Hang on a second. I need to close Turin's first before I look at yours. This will come down under emergency medicine because you're essentially evaluating a medical piece of equipment for this very reason.
Thank you.
Would Garrow be a good person to help out?
Garrow can help, definitely, if he wants to.
Please do.
Does Phlesc want to help?
Reason and medicine.
I can help, and I assume we've finished the repairs on the power system. So.
This will be whilst the repairs on the power systems are going on, so I'm afraid Tavish, Gurkow and Phlesc are going to be otherwise occupied. But Garrow can certainly help. Dr. Sott does not have any determination points left, but Garrow does if he wants to let Dr. Sott reroll his 20.
Yep. Is there
Thanks,
anything
man.
Ian, I definitely agree, Liz. What is up with all these 20s today? That's much better.
There we go.
Boom.
4 successes overall. Garrow can roll, what was it? Reason and medicine as well. And
Hang on, please. Hang on.
it won't be infectious disease. You can't use infectious diseases, but
sorry, what was it again? Medicine.
you're just rolling 1 dice, reason and medicine, no focus.
Okay. 1 dice. Okay.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. But with Garrow's help, Dr. Sott does recognize how to set up this medical facility in order to process lots and lots of patients, and allows you to, once you understand the controls, you can devise a treatment regimen. So I'm going to need 1 last roll from Dr. Sott with whoever wants to help. A Garrow again. Reason and medicine, difficulty 2.
Medicine.
Maybe Sobek, because he's got some determination left.
Yes, sure. Mark, if you want to take charge of Sobek, then in that case. Oh, hells.
Oh my
bells! You know what?
Yep.
I'm ignoring that.
Thanks.
Well, we can re-roll it with Sobek's determination.
Yeah. Do that.
Awfully kind.
There we go. That's why he's here.
Boom.
Better. And now
I don't think
Sobek.
Sobek's got any...
Reason and medicine. Not really.
No, he hasn't.
Investigation, maybe, but...
I don't think so. I'm just going to
Probably not,
here. See.
Hey, rolled back onto a 7, that's better. So 1-2 successes overall, so we got what we needed. The treatment regimen is brought up, and it will take... It's a 15-minute per patient. It takes 15 minutes per patient to get them treated, and another 30 minutes overall before the effects are reversed. But you can start up the machines and start processing your patients, which will take the same amount of time as it takes Phlesc, Gurkow, and Tavish to finish repairs to the power source. And so, yeah, Eventually, you fully restart the systems. As power comes back on and the whole station audibly hums with the new power that's fed through all of its systems. Those of you who are looking at the systems that's reading the power returning to them, you do also note that the teleportation room has now had power fed back into it. It seems you are now able to use the teleporter room to return home. If you want to. I say if. When you want to. But one question I do have to ask first is, what are you going to do about the Covenant and the Apostate?
I kind of don't want to leave them yet, just to make sure that they can integrate together peacefully. Because we're now treating them, they're getting healthy, they recognize they're similar. And hopefully they recognize we're not the messenger of the gods.
Should we try... Oh, sorry.
I'll go
Please
for
go on,
it.
sorry. No.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that they can
Coexist
peacefully after we've left, rather than having the whole worldview questioned, suddenly descend into insanity.
Yeah, what were you going to say, Connie?
I was going to say, should we try introducing a select few back to, the world where we came from? Because obviously they seem to want to leave this asteroid.
Yes,
and
that was something I was going to ask about. So you can
I'm going with Connie here.
ask them if they
I'm
want to
gonna go
leave
with
onto the
Connie.
planet, or if you want to,
Yeah.
if they want to send a few people. Sure. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Well, the first thing we have to do is figure out how to use the thing, how to activate the device. So, if and when you return to the transporter room that you arrived in, the Covenant do send some Phlesc with you to accompany you. First things first is to figure out the controls. So whoever wants to, and anybody who has got any kind of focuses to do with transporters and the like,
Definitely me.
can give an
No,
insight and
this-
engineering check with difficulty 2.
Insight and engineering. Can I have someone assisting? Just to make sure.
I mean, Tavish should probably do the most sense here to assist. Anybody else, Raina?
Focus on transporters. Whee!
Oops, I rolled 2 rather than 1, so let's go with the 6 rather than the 13. 3. Nice, 1 bonus momentum found. So, yes. It's a rather simplistic design, but you have to know where you're going. So, as it turns out, the display screen, or the display window you saw that let you see that you were at the edge of the Milky Way, when you go up to it and put your hand near the glass, now that power is going through that place again, there are numerous little bits of graphical user interface that come up when you go near that window. And when you actually touch the glass, the glass then changes the view that you're looking out on to zoom in on that part of the galaxy that you touched on. So it takes a little bit of fiddling, but eventually you find Pegasi 5, where you were originally docked at. And when you do start zooming in, you can even see the combs in orbit. The resolution of this is so incredible that you can actually spot your ship orbiting around the planet. Zooming in even further, you can see your crew scurrying around trying to find you still, with shuttles flying back and forth and people down on the ground in search patterns. So but you can use that to lock on to the site where you left, and so are able to transport back. So if I'm getting what you said correct, you are offering these guys to go with you, or are you what exactly are you going to do when it comes to these guys?
Oh,
You know, offer to
we
bring
should
them all,
offer.
or have some come a small amount at a time?
We'll offer a small amount at a time, but we can also try and convey to them how it works, in case they know or want to discover where they came from, rather than take them back to the 65.
Okay.
It'd
Interesting.
be good to take an ambassador anyway, if they're willing. We're not going to make them. Tell them that they can all transport to this site that we came from, but also maybe they want to find out where they might have originated from, if it's not the same planet.
There are so many planets in the galaxy, though, that it would take them a long, long time if they don't know where they're looking. So, Captain Sobek will point this out. But because Mark just mentioned ambassador there, it does bring Captain Sobek to the mind of maybe if, when we arrive back on the planet, we put in a request to the Federation to send the diplomatic corps in order to open essentially proper first contact. They are technically a now warp, or at the very least space travel capable species that have been moved from their planet of origin. Maybe with some assistance from the Federation we can eventually figure out where they come from. And I am sure there will be no small amount of xenoarchaeotechnologists who will want to get a look at the station themselves. So, the High Curate and the Curates themselves kind of appoint themselves as the first diplomats or ambassadors, I should say, as you recommend. But a number of people are very curious about what the planet that you're about to go to yourselves looks like. So they're pretty much going to have to organize it themselves. But yes, go on, Mark.
I was going to say, we have explained to them the state of the planet we came from.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a wonderful water world. It's definitely
not inhabited either. So, but it is inhabited, but by magnetite-eating slugs. So beware the wildlife. So, needless to say, transporting back, you do eventually get back, and being very careful about your return journey. You manage to avoid the armored slugs and finally make contact with your crew's search parties, and they're all very relieved to see that you're still intact. You've been gone for the better part of nearly a day in all, so they were starting to get very worried that they hadn't found you. But when you do relay the whole situation, they're very intrigued. As a ship of science, the crew, of course, are very intrigued by the whole notion of another science station in space. Sorry, Mark.
As I say, minus the ladder situation.
Minus the ladder situation. We won't talk about the ladder situation ever again. So when you do eventually finally get back to the ship, you are able to make contact with the Federation and tell them that the diplomatic corps probably need to come out here and help ease these people into venturing out of the station they've called home for generations. It's not going to be a quick process, and a good deal of visits back and forth between both sides is going to be necessary, but you've done a very good job in showing these people that there's no reason for them to war amongst each other. The Apostate are on the way to all being cured of their radiation mutations. With some work and help from the Federation, they could probably get engineers and scientists back on the station to get it working again, and who knows what kind of incredible astrological information that you could, or astronomical, I should say, information. No, you can teach them their star signs and what they've got coming on for the future.
I mean,
they'll meet a stranger in an alley.
Not to mention the transportation potential and the
yes,
high-resolution imaging we can see. So because that's
if that technology can be tapped, that can be some pretty powerful technology. But for the meantime, the business of the Combs and her crew are basically completed here. Your xenoarchaeologist, Lieutenant Turin, has got a lot of very interesting data that she's collected. You've made kind of wonky first contact with a new species. There were ups and downs, and I'm not just talking about the ladder, but there's enough going on here that it's going to keep the Federation and Starfleet busy with these people for a long time in the future. Whether or not the Combs crew choose to maintain contact, their own contact with these people, is entirely up to you. check in with them now and again just to see how they're doing, or leave it entirely to the diplomatic corps from now on. I leave that for you to decide. But for now...
Phlesc definitely wants more info on that sensor scanner. Zoom
yes.
tech.
Starfleet Science is going to be very interested in the place. Yes, Liz?
Has the little armored rat woken up, or is it still knocked out?
Oh, it will eventually come back around if you want to take it for some scans and some whatever. Were you going to make that thing your pet, perchance?
Baby.
I thought so. We'll deal with how well you can domesticate this six-legged vermin at a later point. But if that's what you're doing going forward, then yeah, I'm fine with that.
New science project.
Science. Have to give him a name and everything. Fido. Or Ricky the Rat. But that's beyond the scope of this current session. So, well done, folks. There were quite a few hairy moments, most notably with a ladder. I was afraid the rats would overwhelm you, but you took care of the rats quite nicely. It was getting up an inanimate object that proved the most testing. Nevertheless, you have successfully made first contact with a new culture and have come away from it with some insights and some new technology, so you'll see what that yields. But for the moment, I would like to say thank you very much to my players for being so damn entertaining and for managing to weather the storm of 20s. I would like to thank my cat for popping in at the very, very end to say hello to everybody. Say hello to the ship's cat. What were you going to say, Chris?
The lesson learned here is gloves.
Next time,
suits.
when Phlesc says EV suits, he means EV suits.
And when
batleths.
Hopkins means batleth, she means the batleth.
Batleths. Yes, you do get to drill in quite heavily to Captain Sobek, the I told you so's. Nevertheless, thanks to everybody who watched the stream. I hope you enjoyed it. We are going to, if I remember, go straight on to our next episode next week, because folks will be unavailable on the 7th, so we'll be going straight into our next episode on the 24th, so make sure you check back in with us then. For those who are watching this on YouTube, if you enjoyed this episode, then feel free to give us a like, because it helps us, not only us, but everyone else doing actual plays, and anything to do with Star Trek from appearing on other people's recommended pages. In the meantime, look after yourselves, make sure to do like the Vulcans do and live long and prosper, and not to cut yourself on a ladder, but also to engage in infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and we will see you when we see you next. Hailing frequency is now closed.